looking for their first world title. And they have the lead after the 2 compulsory dances. They were 3rd in the rumba at both the Europeans and the Olympics, which might suggest this is not their best dance.
Well, it may not have been their best dance in those 2 competitions in light of who they were competing against. When you factor in the retirement of Torvill and Dean, the fact that Ugo Vazulin are not here, it's likely that this will come out as the #1 rumba in this competition.
As Jean mentioned, to reflect the character of this dance, you must continually be moving around each other.
For their first world championship title, and like their teammate Alexei Urmanov, they had a most surprising year in that they became, like him, Olympic champions before ever achieving a world championship title. Well, it will likely be the best of the day, as you said, Paul, but when I think back to the Olympics, I always remember the original dance of Torvill and Dean. It came across, as a rumba, it was expressed so well. I find with this team, it lacked a little bit of intimacy.
I spoke with French coach Danielle Maritel today. She works with Magnat Levanchy. She says this is the toughest rumba technically that you'll see in the competition. Well,
I think this team has come on as quickly and as strongly as they have because of their speed and flow, and they certainly carried that throughout this dance.
And the marks come up very quickly here. And the composition marks 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s, and they'll be tough to beat. And now the presentation marks, and there's 5 8s and 3 5 9s, and they now are in first place, and that is hardly surprising. Chris Platov with Coach Natalia Linichuk. ISU Judge Gene Sept has more on the rumba in the Royal Bank Judges. Now ISU Judge Gene Sept.
The rhythm for the original dance this year is the rumba, and it must have the character of the ballroom dance on the floor. This presents a challenge because the rumba in the ballroom tends to be more of a static dance with the couple positioning around each other. So to move the dance across the ice and keep the rumba flavor intact requires some skill and ingenuity. The movement of the rumba in the ballroom shows a subtle hip action that is discreet but expressive. It's not a swinging of the hips, as in the samba, but rather a controlled motion stemming from the bending and straightening of the knees. This is not an easy movement to transfer to the ice. However, on the ice, judges will look for highlights where this hip action is expressed. Often, it's during a stop, where the couple moves around each other as they would in the ballroom, and the man has a chance to show off the woman. 2 stops are permitted this year in the rumba, and most couples will take advantage of this to portray the rumba character. The dance should have an elegance to its movement. While there's a flirtatious quality about it, the rumba is dignified. Mostly, the upper body is relaxed and quiet. Judges watch for moments of skating face-to-face because the rumba is a dance of communication between the partners. As in all ice dancing, strong edges performed on one foot is important. 2-foot skating should be kept to a minimum, and the flow of the dance should be maintained. When watching these rumbas, look for the softness in the knees and the strength and fluidity of movement. Strong, deep edges are still important, as in all ice dancing, but in the good rumbas, you should be able to spot moments which highlight the dance's flavor and say to you that, yes, indeed, this is a rumba. Chris?
Well, the first team you saw in Gene's piece on the rumba, Romanova and Yeroshenko from Ukraine. They're next when we return to the '94 Worlds in Japan. We're back in Japan, continuing our coverage of the original dance, the rumba. And here are one of the fastest rising skaters in ice dance, Ukrainian champions Irina Romanova, Igor Yeroshenko, were tied for 4th after the compulsory dances with Krylova Fedorov before the arm injury to Angelika Krylova forced that team to withdraw.
Well, now that Krylova and Fedorov are out of this particular World Championship, it's got this team in a position that they're really knocking on the door of the top 3 places to get on that podium. Stops that the dancers are allowed in this year's original dance.
Intricate as some of the others.
Irina Romanova and Igor Yeroshenko from Ukraine.
Well, as you mentioned, Chris, this team is from the Ukraine. Another example, this team is another example of some talent that we might never have seen had the breakup of the Soviet Union not occurred. I think for skating fans around the world, it's great, but there has been a lot of people say that because of the breakup, we've had huge influx of numbers in the entries, and it's created a problem. But that's just a problem that the International Skating Union is going to have to work out.
Their marks when we come back.
Competition 5-5, 5-4, 5-5.
Welcome back to Japan, where the first set of marks for Romanova and Yeroshenko are coming up. 5-4s and 5s. She's originally from Odessa. Has that not been a prolific city for producing talent in recent years? Second set of marks of 5-6 from Estonia. And others in second place marks right across the panel.
5-5. Thank you.
Canada's Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz are up next, a young team that is already the most innovative in the competition.
We're trying to take the risk of showing different levels of skating, and it makes them more athletic because we're always going up and down. And sometimes ice dancing people don't consider a sport, and we want to show it's athletic art. It can be both athletic and an artistry. So that's what we're trying to put into it. So we have this new thing called hydroblading, where we wear the hand guards and go right to the ice and we practically kiss it. And it's just to become more comfortable with the edge and to trust yourself. And it's just bringing more athletic to this.
It gives you a different perspective as a skater. Usually when you skate, you always have like sort of the horizontal view, but all of a sudden when you're down horizontally to the ice, it gives you a whole different perspective. The ice surface seems to be bigger, and you have like, it's a different feeling, because all of a sudden if you look down at your skate, you see the blade running on such an edge that you think, well, I'm really literally skating on the edge, like it can go any minute, but that's the thrill of maybe not making it to the end, just wiping out, but that's what makes it fun, I think, and that's what I think gives us the drive of striving further for new ideas, and I think we're well off.
Well, the hydroblading has not only helped their skating, but certainly brought them more attention and awareness, and in ice dance, that's part of the game for Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz and their fast rise. 9th in the first compulsory dance, 7th in the tango, so they are tied for 7th overall. Remember, they were 14th at last year's World Championship, so it's been quite a move up the ladder. Shaylin Bourne and 23-year-old Victor Kratz, the Canadian champion.
Well, it was certainly a performance that I felt held this entire building spellbound throughout. It was very quiet. By nature, the Japanese are, but even our own Canadians, and there are a lot of them here, were really into the moment, really into the performance.
Marks for Bourne and Kratz when we return to Japan. We're back in Japan, and they're just posting the first set of marks for Bourne and Kratz. 5.2s up to 5.5 from the Estonian judge, so that's a nice sign. I mentioned Danielle Maritel, the coach of the French team, who told me earlier today she thought this was the best rumba artistically. Look at the second set. A second-place mark from Estonia, a third-place mark, and 3 fourth-place marks, so they have moved ahead of Goolsby, Schomburger, and Marisol Simicek. Here are the Finnish champions, Susanna Rakamo, Petri Kokko in third place after the compulsory dances, trying to win Finland's first world skating medal since 1933.
Well, I talked to Petri yesterday, and He sounded somewhat frustrated with the results after the compulsories. They were 4th at the Olympics, and with the retirement of Torval Lundin and Yusuf Azulin, they should really be sitting in 2nd place, but they're in 3rd.
Well, Barb, I think that's an example of protocol judging logic in effect. All of these dancers have been so programmed to just 2 people bumping up, so you automatically move up 2 spots. And it's not going that way any longer, and it's great to see.
Now, when you compare this dance to Grich-Chuk-Platov, it just doesn't have the difficulty, and that's simply because of the footwork. If you watch the feet, they're just not moving as quickly. Well, a great performance, but in terms of difficulty, Paul, I'd have to put this definitely behind Grich-Chuk-Platov, and we'll see what Monyon and Lamanche have to go against this.
The popular Finnish champions, Rokamokoko.
Well, Barbara, it's nice to see that this original dance truly is going to stand for something in this standings. Not only is it going to break up the tie situation, but I think it's going to put all of these skaters in a position going into the free dance.
We'll have their marks when we return to Japan.
Position 5-5, 5-5, 5-6.
We're back at the Nakahari Event Hall. Susanna Rakamo, Petri Koko getting their first set of marks, 5-5s and 6s at the Olympics. 2 judges, one from Great Britain, the other from Ukraine, gave them higher placements in the rumba than Grich-Chuk-Platov. Second set of marks up to 5-8s, but right across the judging panel, second place ordinals behind the Olympic champions.
5-8, 5-6, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-8, 5-7, 5-6, 5-7. Thank you.
Well, here are the final skaters in the original dance. Sophie Mongnat, Pascal Lavanchi of France. They are in second place and have matured into medal contenders this year. And we've mentioned that they seem to be in that battle for silver right now against Rokamokoko.
And again, the draw has worked out well here because the judges, with these skaters being back-to-back, can really compare the 2 dances.
Watching these rumbas, it woman always ends up getting the more difficult series of steps to execute. Very rarely do you see the gentleman have to execute any of the difficult twizzles that are expected for women.
Well, that happens in pairs too, doesn't it? It's a little wilder. I find expression-wise it's a little bit of oversell. It should be a little bit more controlled, lacks a little bit of polish, but I'm not sure which way the judges are going to go here.
At the Olympic Games, they went with Rockamo Coco ahead of Monyatte Lavanchy, but the momentum has been with the French team here at the World Championships.
But when you compare it back to, say, Shaylin and Victor, certainly a sharp contrast in styles and interpretation.
Well, Shaylin and Victor was the only dance of the day that really had the audience sitting there in silence. You could have heard a pin drop in here.
And we'll return with the marks for Monyatte and Lavanchy after this. Her marks in the original dance, and the judges taking a little extra time. That's Daniel Maritel in the middle. And 5, 5, 6s, and 7s for the French champions. They say one of their keys this year is they're just tougher competitors this year, now that they are within reach of the medal podium. And the second set of marks, 5, 6s, 7s, and 8s. They have 7 seconds, 2/3, so they have overtaken Rockamo Coco here and are in second place. The standings, Gryczuk Platov first, Monyatte Lavanchy in second ahead of Rockamo Coco. The Ukrainians are fourth, and moving into sixth position, Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz of Canada. And they are standing by with Brian Williams.
Thank you, Chris. Just 2 Canadians competing in the dance, of course, Shaylin and Victor, but they've created the excitement of 3 or 4 pairs. They're the talk of the dance world, 14th at the Worlds in Prague last year, 10th at the Olympics, 6th here tonight. You have made an amazing advance.
Yes, certainly what we did throughout the year paid finally off. Certainly there's lots of, we're getting better technically. So we have to work a bit more on expression, but we're getting there. And I think tonight it showed that, you know, the judges and people in the audience are accepting us as, you know, who we are.
Jean Sempt in her feature talked about the rumba being a dance of communication, yet there's no talking. You communicate with your eyes.
Well, that's what we've always done, by feeling mainly, and it starts with the eyes, so that's where we connect. And then from that point on, we just dance.
Boy, you connected tonight. All right, the buzz is about the free program tomorrow. As I say, you've excited everyone here. What can we expect?
Well, certainly it's going to be an athletic art program. We want to bring into the dance more an athletic approach, and Shaylin and I would just hope that it's being accepted as what it is. It's athletic art, and that's our main goal.
Well, you've put on quite a show. Shaylin Bourne, Victor Kratz, congratulations. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you very much.
All right, Chris Cuthbert, let's go back upstairs to you.
Thank you, Brian. Great athleticism still to come. Don't go away. The men's free skate coming up next as Elvis Stoico goes for gold when we return to the '94 Worlds.